Elon Musk fires 80% of Twitter's workforce on a whim, launches rockets that land themselves, promises to put humans on Mars, buys companies he doesn't need, sells stocks he shouldn't, tweets things that cost him billions, and somehow he's still winning. Most people look at Elon Musk and see chaos, recklessness, a man spiraling out of control. But that's not what's happening. What looks like chaos from the outside is actually order from the inside. Because Elon Musk's brain doesn't work like yours. It doesn't process risk the same way. It doesn't value stability. It doesn't crave predictability. His mind is wired for one thing: problem solving at maximum velocity. And everything else, money, relationships, public opinion, even his own mental health, is secondary to that drive. This is the psychology of Elon Musk, not the entrepreneur, not the billionaire, not the visionary, but the mind underneath, the patterns, the compulsions, the psychology that makes someone choose chaos over comfort every single time. And if you've ever wondered why he can't just stop, why he can't enjoy what he's built, why he keeps risking everything, this video will show you exactly what's happening in his brain. Because Elon Musk isn't building companies. He's feeding a psychological need that can never be satisfied. Let's start with the most important thing to understand about Elon Musk. He's not motivated by money. He's not motivated by fame. He's not even motivated by legacy. He's motivated by something much more primal: the need to solve. This isn't a choice. It's a compulsion. His brain is wired in a way where problems aren't obstacles. They're oxygen. When most people encounter a massive challenge, their brain says, "This is too hard. Find an easier path." But Elon's brain says, "This is impossible. Perfect. Let's do it." And that's not confidence, that's neurodivergence. Elon Musk has openly talked about being on the autism spectrum, specifically Asperger's. And one of the hallmarks of that neurotype is hyperfocus. When something captures his attention, everything else disappears. Time, sleep, social obligations, other people's feelings. The problem becomes the entire world. And he won't stop until it's solved. Not because he's disciplined, but because his brain literally won't let him move on. This is why he can work 100-hour weeks, why he sleeps at factories, why he'll obsess over a single engineering problem for days. It's not work ethic, it's neurological wiring. And that wiring, it's both his superpower and his prison. Here's the part most people miss. Elon Musk doesn't build companies because he wants to. He builds them because he has to. There's a specific psychological pattern at play here. It's called compulsive creation. For most people, success means reaching a goal and then enjoying it. Building wealth so you can relax. Achieving status so you can coast. But for Musk, there is no finish line. There is no enough. Because his psychology isn't driven by achievement. It's driven by avoidance. Avoidance of what? Boredom, stillness, the absence of a problem to solve. For someone with a mind like his, doing nothing is torture. Sitting still feels like dying. So he creates problems, not consciously, but his brain seeks out the hardest, most impossible challenges and attaches to them. Electric cars when everyone said it was impossible. Reusable rockets when the entire aerospace industry laughed. Brain-computer interfaces, tunnels under cities, Mars colonization. These aren't business decisions. They're psychological necessities. He needs the struggle, the impossibility, the all-consuming focus. Because without it, he's left alone with himself. And that's the one thing his mind can't handle. Let's talk about risk. Normal people assess risk with a formula. What do I gain versus what do I lose? Elon Musk doesn't think that way. For him, the question is, what's the most ambitious version of this I can attempt? And if that version has a 90% chance of failure, even better, because his brain doesn't process risk as danger, it processes it as stimulation. This is what psychologists call sensation seeking. Some people are wired to avoid risk. Their brains are sensitive to threat. They play it safe. But Musk's brain is the opposite. It's understimulated by normal life. It needs intensity, chaos, high stakes. That's why he bet everything on Tesla multiple times. Why he poured his entire PayPal fortune into SpaceX. Why he bought Twitter for $44 billion and immediately destroyed half its value. He's not being reckless. He's feeding a psychological need. And the bigger the risk, the more alive he feels. Here's what makes Elon psychologically fascinating. He's simultaneously hyper-rational and completely irrational. Watch him explain rocket engineering, and he's a genius. Methodical, data-driven, precise. But watch him make a business decision, and it's pure impulse. Firing thousands of employees overnight, tweeting stock prices that tank his companies, starting feuds with regulators. How can the same person be both? Because his brain operates in two modes. Mode 1, problem solving. When he's focused on an engineering challenge, his autism gives him superpowers. He can hold thousands of variables in his head. He sees patterns no one else sees. He processes complexity like it's simple. This is when he's at his best. This is Elon the genius. Mode 2, everything else. Social dynamics, emotional intelligence, long-term consequences of impulsive decisions. His brain doesn't allocate processing power to these things. They're not problems to solve, so they're invisible. This is why he's terrible at managing people, why his relationships implode, why he says things on Twitter that destroy billions in value. It's not that he doesn't care. It's that his brain doesn't register these things as important. Only the engineering matters. Everything else is noise. Let's talk about his childhood, because Elon Musk's psychology wasn't built in a vacuum. It was forged. He grew up in South Africa with a father he's described as terrible, emotionally abusive, cruel. He was bullied relentlessly at school, beaten, hospitalized. And instead of breaking him, it did something else. It taught him that the world is hostile, that safety is an illusion, that the only person you can rely on is yourself. And more importantly, it taught him that emotions are dangerous. So he shut them off, not consciously, but as a survival mechanism. He learned to live in his head, in logic, in problems that could be solved, because people couldn't be solved. People hurt you. People left. People betrayed. But math, physics, engineering, those were reliable. So his brain wired itself around those things, and everything else got deprioritized. This is why he struggles with empathy, why he can fire people without flinching, why he sees humans as variables in an equation. It's not cruelty, it's self-protection. He learned early that caring about people gets you hurt, so he stopped caring. And that made him powerful, but it also made him alone. Here's the cost, because there's always a cost to this kind of psychology. Elon Musk has everything most people dream of: money, power, influence, legacy, but he can't enjoy any of it because his brain won't let him. The moment he achieves something, his mind moves to the next problem. There's no savoring, no celebration, no rest. Just the next impossible thing. He's addicted to the pursuit, and the pursuit never ends. This is why his relationships fail, why he's been married and divorced multiple times, why he has children he barely sees. Because relationships require presence. They require being able to stop and just be with someone. And Elon Musk can't stop. His psychology won't allow it. He's always solving, always building, always moving. And everyone around him either keeps up or gets left behind. Let's talk about Twitter, because buying Twitter revealed something crucial about his psychology. Most people thought it was about free speech, or ego, or business strategy, but it wasn't. It was about boredom. Tesla was running itself, SpaceX was successful, Neuralink and Boring Company were in capable hands, And for the first time in decades, Elon Musk didn't have an impossible problem to solve. So his brain created one. Twitter wasn't a business opportunity. It was a psychological necessity. He needed chaos, needed a challenge, needed something broken that he could fix. And when he bought it, he didn't fix it strategically. He broke it more, fired everyone, changed everything, broke systems that were working. Why? Because his brain doesn't want things to be fixed. It wants things to be fixable. The struggle is the point. The chaos is the point. If Twitter actually worked perfectly, he'd lose interest. So subconsciously, he keeps it broken, keeps it challenging, keeps it consuming his attention, because that's what his psychology needs. Here's what Elon Musk reveals about human psychology. Most of us are terrified of failure. We avoid risk, we play it safe, and we wonder why we're not extraordinary. Elon shows us what happens when you remove that fear completely, when you stop caring about what people think, when you stop optimizing for comfort, when you stop protecting yourself from failure. You become capable of things that seem impossible, but you also lose something. You lose balance, you lose relationships, you lose the ability to just be happy with what you have. Because the psychology that makes you extraordinary is the same psychology that makes you unable to enjoy it. Let's talk about what drives him now. It's not money. He has more than he could ever spend. It's not fame. He's already the most famous entrepreneur alive. It's not even Mars, though that's the story he tells. What drives Elon Musk now is the same thing that's always driven him, the need to prove he's not broken. Because somewhere deep in his psychology, there's still that bullied kid in South Africa who got beaten for being different. And every rocket that lands is proof he's not worthless. Every company that succeeds is proof he's not a failure. Every impossible thing he achieves is evidence that maybe, just maybe, he's enough. But the problem with that kind of validation, it never lasts. You achieve the impossible and your brain just says, okay, what's next? So you keep going, keep building, keep proving, until eventually you realize there's no amount of success that will ever make you feel fixed, because you were never broken in the first place. You were just wired differently. This is the psychology of Elon Musk, a mind built for problems that can never be satisfied, a brain that sees risk as reward and comfort as death, a psychology forged in childhood trauma and refined through decades of relentless achievement. He's not trying to save humanity. That's the narrative, the story he tells. But the truth is simpler and sadder. He's trying to save himself from boredom, from stillness, from the terrifying possibility that if he stops moving, he'll have to face the fact that no amount of rockets or cars or companies will ever fill the void. So he doesn't stop. He can't. And we watch, fascinated, horrified, inspired, because Elon Musk is what happens when genius and trauma collide. When a mind that can solve anything meets a heart that can't solve the one thing that matters. How to just be. How to be enough. How to stop. And maybe he never will. Maybe his psychology won't let him. Maybe he'll keep building until the day he dies, convinced that the next thing, the next achievement, the next impossible goal will finally be the one that makes him feel whole. But it won't. Because the problem he's trying to solve isn't external, it's internal. And no rocket to Mars will ever fix that.